Just below me is the boat ramp at Lake Allen Henry out in West Texas. Today's trivia question: there's something unique about this lake that you won't find anywhere else in the state of Texas. Do you know what the answer is? You will know if you watch for the next half hour. We're going to exploit it because coming up next, this is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Well, as you can see right down here below us, Lake Allen Henry is a gorgeous lake set out in the desert hill country of West Texas. It's got all kinds of cedar breaks and mesquite trees around it, lots of rolling and rugged hillside. But Lake Allen Henry is different from every other lake in the entire state of Texas for one reason. It's the only lake in the state that's got a catchable population of spotted bass. But wait, you say, I've caught spotted bass before. Yes, you have. They're the smaller strain of Kentucky spotted bass that are across most of the state of Texas. Here at Allen Henry, they have a catchable population of the Alabama strain of spotted bass. They grow much larger, much fatter. They're a great fighting sport fish that you're going to love catching. On this week's episode, we're going to take the Nitro Z20, launch it in Lake Allen Henry, go out in search of some spotted bass. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our team of expert insider reporters. Right now, we get the boat launched, take you back to the FSN studios to get it all started with your weekend planner.
The fishing tables are indicating that the best action over the weekend will take place early and late. Expect peak gamefish activity to occur around the dusk and dawn hours on both days. The sun will rise at 7:13 and set at 7:48. And evening skies will hold a crescent moon that is 29% illuminated. Stay with us. All of your fishing updates from around the region are on the way. Plus, I'll return with current Bassmaster Classic winner Edwin Evers to help us with this week's Ask the Pro question. We're coming right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
Got it. Way down there deep. There's a spot. All right, there's a little chunk. That's not one of the good ones, but something to get it going. All right, welcome back, everybody. We've made it out on the lake. There's your spotted bass, just like we talked about. That's just a good 2 1/4, 2.5 pound spot. I'll show you how you can tell these fish here in just a little bit, how you can tell it's a spot from a largemouth bass. But I'm going to let that fish go back. Let me orient you a little bit to the lake. As I mentioned, this lake is about an hour south of Lubbock, Texas. Lots of rocks, lots of scrub brush, big boulders, clear water. It's about a 2,800 acre lake. It's fed basically by two arms. The double mountain fork of the Brazos River is the main channel, and then the Grape Creek on the other side. So two main arms, kind of murky water in the upper ends, a little bit stained off-colored water there, but real clear water down in the lower end. You'll find these spotted bass out on these rocky points, rocky ledges, out in deeper, clearer water. So that kind of gets you going. We've got a fish to get things started. By the way, Lake Allen Henry was named after Allen Henry. Who is Allen Henry? Trivia question. The answer, he was a former mayor of Lubbock, Texas, right up the road. Let's get you some fishing and lake reports to get things started.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by Lone Star Outdoor News, the newspaper of Texas for the outdoorsmen, hunters, and fishermen. It's published twice a month. And if your business is geared towards or would like to do business with the outdoorsmen of Texas, you should consider advertising in Lone Star Outdoor News. Now this week we're at Lake Ray Roberts, where The crappie are up in the shallows in the creeks along the flooded brush. They're spawning and you can catch them with minnows and or crappie jigs. Below the dam, some of the creeks and parks have sand bass running in them, and you can catch those on your standard road runners, beetle spins, jig and spoon type lures, and your smaller topwater torpedoes and traps. And finally, largemouth bass are spawning on some of the creek points and just inside the mouths of the creeks in the flooded vegetation. Use your standard Texas rig craws, lizards, and that sort of thing for the bass. Now I want to get to Cedar Creek because the crappie there have also moved into the back of the creeks, and you'll find them up very shallow. Use the same minnows and crappie jigs, and be ready for one of the Cedar Creek hybrids that are also cruising that 3, 2, and even 1 foot water zone on Cedar Creek. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Lone Star Outdoor News. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, the Texas Outdoors Journal brings you this week's report and has once again been named the #1 major outdoor magazine in Texas by the Texas Outdoor Writers Association. Whether you fish or hunt, each month our team of top professionals will tell you where to go, what to expect once you get there, and how to do a little bit better. Pick up a copy of the April issue, now on sale on newsstands, or subscribe and save at TexasOutdoorsJournal.com, or call 800-222-4TOJ. Well, water everywhere, along with plenty of wind, is what Texas anglers are experiencing. This will pull fish into the lower portions of the upper Texas coast. On the backside of Matagorda and St. Joe Islands, look to the marshes and the surrounding satellite bays. Flooding tides have pushed reds and trout into these areas. There are fish back in the grass as well along the grassy edges. Look for good topwater bite to emerge, with one of Unfair Lure's surface scratchers to be a good choice. Now on the upper Laguna Madre, from Pita Island on south along the King Ranch shoreline into Baffin Bay, as well as into the land cut, are giving up some good trophy speckled trout, redfish, big black drum with some sheep's head mixed in. This weekend, Saturday's a 3-tide day with 2 low tides and just 1 high. This Sunday is a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. I'm Bill Olson on a windy day and hoping to see you on the coast.
Scattered brush. That's a fish. Thought it was brush. It was actually a fish. Good night. All right, just a little spot. All right, I promised that I would show you how to tell the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth. And there are several ways I can just tell by looking at them, by looking at the horizontal lines down their sides. They've got a couple of patches on their teeth, but the easiest way to tell is to close their mouth and then look right here. That's the jawbone. If the jawbone with the mouth closed is even with or in front of the eye, it's a spotted bass. On a largemouth bass, that bone right there will extend way back here past the eye. So basically a much bigger mouth. But look at that bone right there, and if you can close that fish's mouth, if I can get him to close his mouth right there, and you can see that that bone is about even with his eye. If it comes back here, it's a largemouth. Easy way to tell right there. Fish goes back. Stay with us, we're coming right back. Reel, he's got it. Got him. There we go. There's a decent spot. All right, here's a beautiful spotted bass right there for you. Long, skinny, hard fighting fish right there. Back he goes. Hey everybody, let's talk about spotted bass terrain for just a second. We're here at Allen Henry Lake in West Texas. Look how steep this terrain is right here. Those rocks fall straight off, and my boat is sitting in 40 feet of water right now, and I'm throwing up in about probably 10 to 15 and dragging it off in that 40. So let me give you these keys. No matter where you live, spotted bass versus largemouth. Largemouth bass tend to live shallower, in murkier water, and on flatter terrain, and around more brushy type cover. Spotted bass tend to live on steeper terrain, clearer water, more steep, rocky type structure, and a lot deeper. It's nothing for a spotted bass to live in 40, 50, 60 feet of water. Remember that when you're fishing for these fish. By the way, if you want to come to this lake, Allen Henry, you can contact Philip Poole. The information you see on your screen right there, I think he's got a web address, contact telephone number if you'd like to book a guide trip. He's guided for 20 years here on this lake, and he has these spotted bass dialed in. He's caught a bunch of great big ones, and his clients have as well. All right, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from where you live.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report. We're going to start off talking freshwater fishing. I tell you what, we had all that rain a couple weeks ago. Man, Toledo Bend came up, made the water stain, but they're still catching lots of big bass, mostly up around the hay grass, even on the backside of the hay grass. They're throwing some Carolina rig flukes, and in the dirtier water, they're throwing like chatterbaits or a big bladed spinnerbait, actually producing very good on quality bass. I tell you what, down here in Calcasieu Reserve, it opened up. Still a few fish bedding out there. Guys are catching those on soft plastic lizards with 16th ounce slip sinkers. Tell you what, we're starting to get on the saltwater scene right now, and the coast is going crazy. All the way down in Venice, I tell you what, offshore they're catching tuna and wahoo. Inshore, redfish and speckled trout are starting to show up. Over here on Calcasieu Lake, same thing. We do have a little bit of fresh water coming down, probably gonna slow things down a little bit. But I tell you what, you get out there on the water, throw you an 1/8 quarter-ounce Rockport Rattler jig head with a K-Wiggler soft plastic, work that over some soft shell in about 3 to 6 feet of water. Tell you what, you'll have a great trip. For Old Cajun Phil, I'm Captain Kevin Broussard saying if y'all want to make a trip or just want to talk fishing, give us a call or write us an email.
I got a bite right here. I got a bite, he's swimming with it. Got him right there. Oh, that's a good pull. That's a good fish right there. Yeah, I thought it was, but guess what? This is what I'm destined to catch today. They're beautiful fish, hard fighters, and fun to catch. Let me explain one quick thing here before we take a break. You see, I'm using a bait caster today. When do you choose a spinning rod and reel on this finesse tackle like I'm using a little shaky head and a little small plastic worm? But when do you choose a spinning rod and reel versus a larger bait caster? Well, lots of brush and cover down through here. There's lots of things that a fish, especially a decent fish, can get around and break off 6 or 8 pound test line. So if I'm fishing open water, I'll fish that lighter rod and reel. This is the heavier one, and by the way, this is brand new. This is the brand new loose TP1 Speed Stick series. You can tell it by the white color. This is a 7-foot medium heavy action. It's got the wind grip on it. It's got the microwave guide system on it. It is a fantastic rod, and I've got it paired with the Lew's Speed Spool LFS. It's the best $99 bait cast reel on the market. It's got all the features of a much more expensive reel at a much less expensive price. LFS, lighter, faster, stronger. That's what those letters stand for. Check it out at your local retailer. Hey, we'll be back for more from Allen Henry Lake in West Texas.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Lose, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
There's one. There's a decent spot. I've hit my little Texas rigged tattletale worm. Little spotty right there. Allen Henry Lake, south of Lubbock, Texas. Let's talk a little bit about what spotted bass eat. They eat crawfish. That's what they love the most. They eat shad, alewife. They'll eat really any kind of little bait fish that swim around in whatever impoundment they're in. The lures that you want to catch them though are really interesting. The fish will hit moving baits like a crankbait, a rattle bait. I caught one today on a jerk bait. But let me tell you, day in and day out, by far, without question, the best baits for spotted bass are little soft plastic baits, little undersized baits. That's a little tattletale worm. I'll show all the baits to you, several of them, and I'll show you how I've got it rigged. I've got a little secret going right here that helps attract them. But soft plastic baits of all kinds, little grubs, small plastic worms, crawfish imitations, they are suckers for those plastic baits like that, and little small sizes, anywhere from 2 to 4 inch sizes, are the very best. By the way, the Texas state record spotted bass was caught right here at Allen Henry just this year, and look at this fish, 5.98 pounds, caught in January by Josh Helmstetler. Time for more fishing and lake reports for you right now.
Hey, the old lake records are falling like crazy here in Oklahoma in the last few weeks. That tells me the fish are really on the move. You need to be taking advantage of that right now. 3 in particular caught my attention here in just the last couple of weeks. I want to share those with you here today. First of all, Mark Downs caught this 2.6 pound crappie at Stanley Draper on an artificial. And then Rusty Clark caught this 9.8 pound beauty in the Sawguy Walleye category at Lake Thunderbird, also an artificial. Thunderbird's really known for those species. You want to catch some of those, now's a good time to go. Thunderbird is the place to do it. Clyde Woody went to Lake Hefner. I keep telling you, Hefner is a really good fishery right there in Oklahoma City. Caught this 16.1 striper hybrid on natural bait at Hefner. As far as the crappie fishing, everybody's really trying to keep up with that movement. It's getting ready to happen. Kellen Davis has been keeping me updated with what's going on down at Lake Eufaula. He's been on the south end of the lake. He said the fish are doing something different almost daily right now as they're kind of getting really close to moving into the banks. Now his last outing, he said those fish were 8 to 12 foot of water suspended over the first break line adjacent to the spawning flats. He said the females are really ripe with eggs. They're going to be going to that shoreline soon. He caught some dandies here. Since they were suspended, he was double rigging. He had a Bobby Garland baby shad on top in Vegas color, and underneath he had the minnow minder in glacier color. He said most of the fish on this particular outing came on the Vegas. He also pointed out the water is super muddy. Don't let that discourage you. He said even when the water was that muddy, he was catching fish as deep as 15 feet on those artificials. So muddy water, Lake Eufaula, those fish are used to it. You can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
There he is. Look at that, beautiful. All right, there's a little chunk. Beautiful. Lines down his side, kind of gold color. Smallmouth. All right, back that one goes. We are putting them back today. What I'm trying to do is keep the boat out in about 25 feet of water. And I'm trying to hit any little rock ledges, rock points. In fact, I want to show you something on my Lowrance HDS Gen 3 unit back here. I've got it split screen and you can actually see some of the brush down below us. On the left-hand side, you can see the 2D view. On the right-hand side, you can see the downscan view and you can actually see the limbs of that brush. Then I'm gonna pan over here real quick and show you my other unit that I've got set on my chart, and you can actually see this long skinny ridge running right in here, and that's typical for spotted bass. They like to live on structure, rocks, and they tend to live a little deeper than the other fish. So remember that, find those little areas and those little drop-offs out in deeper water.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button, and see lots of how-to and product videos by clicking the how-to button. Also, stay up to date with the latest fishing news, videos, and photos by clicking the follow button on our Twitter feed, and get lots of that same info by clicking the like button on our Facebook page. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. Motor Guide Trolling Motors, because accuracy matters. Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. And Fox Sports Outdoors is driven by Fort Worth Nissan and Lone Star Toyota.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for the Ask the Pro question, your chance for advice from professional anglers. This week, Eric wants to know, is it better to take my fishing vacation during the pre-spawn or the actual spawn? For the answer, we asked the recent 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion, Edwin Evers.
If I had my choice, I would like to take my vacation a week before the full moon in April, March, whatever that time frame is for your part of the country, when that water temperature is at 55 to 60 degrees the week before that full moon.
Thank you, Edwin. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, simply go to our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and let us know. Now let's find out which big fish photo wins someone a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Each week, someone wins a free pair of Costa sunglasses right here on the show by entering the Costa Catch of the Week contest. I'll tell you how in just a moment, but first, here's this week's winner. He is Cole George of North Richland Hills, Texas, showing a 10.12 pound largemouth bass he caught at Eagle Mountain Lake just outside Fort Worth, Texas. And we have bonus fish for you also from that same Eagle Mountain Lake. These are not winners, but great fish nonetheless. Billy Quadrado is showing a 10.8 pound bass. Chris Alcantar, a 10 pound bass. Brad Evans, an 8 pound bass. Chris Rooker, a 13 pound hybrid striper. And Nick Price, 15 and 27 pound blue catfish. If you'd like to be our next winner, all you have to do is go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right-hand side of the front page, click on the Costa Catch of the Week area, and you could be our next winner. And you can see all of the great Costa frame and lens styles by going back to the front page of our website and clicking on the Costa logo. You can see all of the great 580 lens colors and styles there, and all of the great frame styles, like the frame I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called Manta. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to target spotted bass on any lake near you that has these great game fish in it. Beginning on your left, that is a 1/4 ounce lead jig head with an open hook and a Jean LaRue Rally grub. That's my favorite grub. Next up, we've got a 4-inch finesse worm. That is a salthead shaky worm by Jean LaRue. And a little bit longer tattletale worm by Jean LaRue. That's what I caught most of the fish today on, and I rigged it Texas rigged, and here was the secret. I use a tungsten weight, about a 1/4 ounce size, and a red glass bead. It's got to be glass, not plastic. Those two things click together and make a lot of noise echoing in the water, and then I rigged that on a 2/0 red offset worm hook. From the time you and I were little kids, we've always loved a good story. Whether in a movie or in one of those little golden storybooks that I remember so well, some of those stories were happy, some sad, some captivating, some boring, but everybody loves a story. Did you ever think of your life as a story? And do you like how your story is unfolding? If so, good for you. If not, why not get started writing a better story? That's right. You and only you have a choice as to how your story unfolds and how it ends. I hope you enjoyed our trip today to Lake Allen Henry, about an hour south of Lubbock, Texas. It's a great spotted bass lake, but more importantly, I hope you learned from some of the tips and techniques that we talked about on this episode that just may help you catch spotties on a lake near you. They are so much fun to catch. I will meet you right back here on the air next week, same time, same channel. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.